Fox News alert because a Senate hearing on IRS targeting underway on Capitol Hill as evidence of a cover-up contained in some of Lois Lerner's lost emails, which have now been recovered mysteriously. The head of Judicial Watch, which sued to get those emails, saying this, quote, "This material shows that the IRS's cover-up began years ago. We now have smoking gun proof that top officials in the Obama IRS unlawfully harassed taxpayers just to keep them from complaining to Congress about IRS targeting and abuse." Monica Crowley is online opinion editor for The Washington Times, Fox News contributor. Smoking gun here. Explain it a little bit more. What did we find out?
Well, remember now, since the scandal broke now, for years, the IRS has said, including the commissioner has said, we can't find these Lois Lerner emails. They have been destroyed. Well, Judicial Watch then sued. The inspector general then went to seek out these emails, and lo and behold, there they were, where they expected them to be, on servers in remote locations. What we heard today was what you described as a smoking gun, which is at least one email, I'm sure there are more, indicating that the IRS knew exactly what they were doing in targeting Tea Party, conservative, and religious groups. Conservatives who happened to oppose the president's agenda deliberately targeted them, sent letters to at least one organization saying, don't worry about it, we're on top of this, meaning delaying these groups from complaining to Congress and making their stories public that they were, in fact, having their applications delayed and they were being harassed by the IRS.
Okay, so the reason that the IRS would do that would to make it seem as if, you know, they weren't just stuffing those documents and those applications away to never be looked at ever again. But this email actually says that it was deliberate to do it just so we don't have to look at it,
yes,
right?
And in fact, what we learned today from these disclosed emails, Gretchen, is that they recognized that they were getting this huge backlog of conservative groups' applications that they were deliberately delaying. Remember when the president made a statement when this scandal first broke, and he said he was outraged and that they were going to get to the bottom of it? Well, it's hard to get to the bottom of something when you are the bottom of it. This administration knew all along what was happening here. We're getting more and more evidence of this. I've long said this is the most dangerous scandal in U.S. history. Well, now we know why.
It's interesting how the president changed his messaging once we supposedly didn't have these emails. Once they were supposedly lost, he changed when he did an interview with Bill O'Reilly, and recently when he did his last interview with Jon Stewart, he said this: the truth of the matter is that there was not some big conspiracy there. They were trying to sort out these conflicting demands.
Yes, he told Bill O'Reilly there wasn't, quote, a smidgen of corruption at the IRS. Then he makes this statement to Jon Stewart last week. Look, at the beginning when the scandal broke and he expressed great outrage and I had no idea this was going on, now it looks like he's not even faking being outraged anymore. He's trying to blame it on a crummy law or that the IRS doesn't have enough resources to do their job. That is all nonsense. The Tea Party had real traction in opposing his agenda. The Tea Party needed to be marginalized and dismissed and essentially taken out. So what did they do? They weaponized the most fearsome agency of the United States government, the IRS, in order to do that. And in large part, it worked.
Quite an accusation, if it all pans out to be true. Monica Crowley, thank you.
You bet.